Hey guys, so welcome to the Manchester Marathon series. So over the next 5 weeks, I'm going to document all of my training each week in the run up to the marathon. So my goal time sitting here right now is going to be anything around 3 hours 20. And this is my first marathon. Half marathons are something that I've done a lot of. A lot of you will know, so I ran 1 hour 28 recently, and there was definitely a bit in the tank before I went and did that deadlift. Based on my Garmin, it says I should be doing a 3:05, but I'm not 100% going to trust my Garmin. And also, having never done a marathon and never actually ran over 20, I've done 30k once, and obviously marathon's 42k, so I need to, I think, maybe just be a little bit realistic and not too ambitious with my goals. But the goal by the end of the year is to go and do Berlin Marathon in sub 3, so if I could do that in my second marathon, that would be absolutely insane. So yeah, 5 weeks out, I've just started a new block of training, so a new strength block, so 2 upper sessions, 1 lower session, and very much focusing on strengthening all the muscles that we need for running now, so running economy, and also really strengthening my calves and also my tibialis anterior, which is something that I think is a little bit weak because I've been struggling with shin splints, and I've actually just been to get my gait analysed because I was worried that I potentially have like flat feet and my feet overpronate and they roll inwards. However, that actually just confirmed that I don't have that, and a neutral shoe is fine for me. So my other reason for potentially having shin splints is just my shoes were worn out, and having now looked at the Asics that I've been running in, they are definitely a little bit beaten up. And the reason why I think it's the shoes is because I do a lot of strength work, and I haven't increased my mileage. Usually you get shin splints from just increasing your mileage too quickly, getting new to running and all that kind of stuff. But going from doing 23, 24k a weekend to going to do 25, 26k isn't a big jump. So that's what I'm hoping. I had a sports massage last night, and that's made things feel a lot better. So yeah, this week I'm going to try and at least get my one long run in, which I think is a 29k run. I usually do 3 runs a week. The other 2 I might just sub out for off feet stuff like rower, ski erg, just to give my shins and my calves a little bit more time to recover just before doing that long run, which is the most important session of the week. And that is, I think, 29k with 15k at race pace. So looking at like a 4:30-ish kilometre. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Currently Tuesday. I'm actually just on the way to an event in Bolton. So Reebok have invited me to a boxing masterclass, which should be interesting because I've never done any boxing in my life. Yeah, but it should be cool to network and also to try something a little bit different. And I do believe it is in support of men's mental health, so it's definitely aligned with what I do. It was a very tough session this morning, so I ran for the first time since last Thursday. So it took the best part of 5 days off between running because of my shin splints. Had 2 sports massages, done a lot of stretching, done a lot of strengthening my tibialis anterior, and I had no pain, which was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, it was probably one of the toughest interval sessions I think I've ever had, but also probably one of the best. My heart rate was sitting at the end at 174, 175, and it's so difficult for me to get into zone 5 normally. So to actually, I looked at my Garmin, so I spent, doesn't sound like that much, but 9 minutes in zone 5, and normally I'm nowhere near the red. So it was 4 by 2.5 kilometers, all of them at a 3:45 pace. And I was 9 seconds up on the last week on every single rep, which is a big amount. But yeah, 2.5 kilometer repeats are tough. But yeah, feeling good and really happy to be back running. So keep you posted with how today goes. Currently Thursday, just finished up at the dentist. So just been for my checkup appointment. So about 5 months ago, I went to get some retainers, some aligners to straighten my teeth. So I had 20 different trays that I've been alternating through for the past 20 weeks. And I'm actually really happy with how my teeth have responded. But I am going to get a few more retainers because I think the scope to just move them a little bit more. And then I think I'm probably going to look at getting composite. But it's definitely something that's really helped my confidence because I was definitely quite self-conscious about my teeth, especially like my canines used to be a little bit crowded. But yeah, definitely happy with how things are going now. Did 13.5 kilometers this morning.
Shin splints were a little bit niggly for the first few K, maybe like the last K, but definitely again a big improvement from where they were last week. I'm going to take a couple of days off now, so I'll take Friday off, Saturday off, and then I've got my long run, which is 30K or about 29K to do on Mother's Day. But yeah, I've got a busy day tomorrow and Saturday, so I don't really have time to get that 30K in. And when I'm doing a run that long, I need to make sure that I've got enough headspace and preparation to get the food in and to just get the timings right and not just try and squeeze it in. Because like when you're running that far, you do really need to respect the runs and respect the preparation. It's not like waking up and going to do an 8 or a 10K. Like you've really got to put the work in. But today, prepping for the event that we're doing at Fix. I'm going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Prepping also some of the gift bags, the talk that I'm going to do, finalising some content plans with the partners, and also going to do some work with Zara as well. So yeah, I'll keep you posted.
How you feeling, Harvey?
Feeling probably good, weighing in the lights of my weighed in, a bit nervous though, so hopefully it all goes well.
How you feeling, mate?
Adrenaline's through the roof.
Timed it perfect. Time to look out perfect. So we're just on the way back now from Harvey's competitions. We've just been to Wolverhampton to British Nationals junior powerlifting competitions. Harvey was competing in the 74 kilo category. He actually joined Muscle Mind about 18 months ago with the goal to go to Nationals at powerlifting, and he was very, very anxious if he could even do it. But that was actually only his third competition, and he did so well. So he got a 587.5 kilo total. So we got a 207.5 kilo squat, 132.5 kilo bench, which is crazy, and a 247.5 kilo deadlift. So Ben's in the car with me, who is our Muscle Minds performance coach. He was handling Harvey on the day. How do you think he got on?
Unreal, yeah. It was. We kind of had a rough idea of where top ends would be on the day, obviously based on the data we'd collected through the prep for this competition, and even that kind of Harvey like surpassed our expectations. So
incredibly proud of him, especially considering he's done a water cut. So basically, Harvey sits around 80 kilos, and he competes in the 74 kilo category. So he'll go through like a whole week before the competition where he will basically manipulate his water, give him very specific calories, macros, and how much salt to eat to essentially drain the water out of his body. So we've both done these 2 or 3 times, and we both know how awful it makes you feel, and it really isn't good for performance. Like this is what boxers and MMA fighters do, but they usually have 24 hours after weigh-in to then refuel. But for powerlifting, you have literally 2 hours, and in Harvey's case, when you're like one of the last to weigh in, you can literally only have an hour and a half to then refuel. But it literally didn't even affect him, did it?
No, yeah, really came in clutch. Great performance. Number selection by ourselves was obviously wonderful.
Fantastic coaching always goes a long way. But yeah, we've got the event tomorrow, don't we? Which we're both looking forward to. I've got to go back to the flat. I've got to prep all the gift bags. We've got Pure Sport are going to be at they've given some electrolytes. We've got Zite Nootropics, which are doing like an energy shot that's made out of like mushrooms. So it's really organic and great for energy. So I've got to go prep all those. I'm also going to write a personalised note for each of the attendees. I've got a little bit of a talk that I need to prep on positive mental attitude. Just kind of finalising all of that. And then Mother's Day on Sunday as well. So it's going to be a very busy weekend.
It is.
It's probably going to be a little bit different to what you've all experienced before. And if I could just give you one piece of advice, whatever stereotype, expectation, weird feeling you might get throughout this, is just put that to one side. You're in a room now of 10, 20 lads with open minds, open hearts. There is literally no judgment here. The more that you now immerse yourself in this experience, the more you're going to get out of it, okay?
Hey guys, so it's currently Sunday. I got back to Zara's house in Poulton last night, back from Manchester quite late, about 11. The event at Fix went absolutely incredible. It was so great to see so many lads really going deep and really investing into the process, because the process of sound baths and breath work is very different, and there's definitely a lot of stereotypes, and you know, quite a lot of people have the thought of like these things are quite woo-woo, but like seeing 21 lads sat in a room, like really in their own world, like focusing on like feeling, focusing on their breath, focusing on the sound, the vibrations, was really powerful. And I know a lot of lads have sent me some really great messages this morning of things that they took away from the event. And also, so just before the event finished, I spent a little bit of time before the event just writing down on a card for each of the attendees something which I admire about them, because I wanted them to walk away from the event feeling positive, because the way that the event and the sound bath was structured was that the attendees would leave feeling positive, and whilst they're feeling positive, and in this time where we can all be very critical of ourselves, I wanted them to have something positive about the way that they feel about themselves. So I wrote something that I admire about each and every one of them, whether it was their energy, whether it was their confidence, whether it was their social skills, something to do with like an innate personality trait. And I said to them to go away and think of one or two things that they admire about themselves, which can be really difficult. But after like the positivity of that session, that hopefully those things would have been a little bit more front of mind, and we would have had the critical part on our shoulder getting in the way. And I've had some incredible messages this morning. So yeah, it was full on, it was great, but we did get up at 6 a.m. this morning, and bearing in mind the clocks went back, so I didn't have a great amount of sleep, but I knew I had this run to get in. It's 4 weeks out from Manchester Marathon. I got all prepped, you can see from the video, I got my pre-workout and everything, my electrolytes, and I've been having this little issue with my quad for about 2 weeks now. I think it's my rectus femoris, which is like your main quad muscle kind of down the middle. I could run, I could definitely go and I could have definitely gone and run 29k, but what I have to think about here is like, if I'm going to go and put 30,000 steps through that foot at a relatively high force and it not be 100%, like what damage am I going to be doing? And the kind of acid test for me was basically when I go into a lunge, I am getting some pain. I don't think it's anything too severe, because I've not got any loss of strength, which is a good sign. I think I've just caught a very mild strain early, so I think if I just rest it for 7 to 10 days, I think I'll be fine on the bike, I'll be fine on the cross trainer. So unfortunately I have some very long, boring, arduous sessions on the cross trainer and things like that coming up, but if that means that I can just, you know, kind of get past this period, I can still go and do Manchester Marathon, then that's what I'm gonna have to do. So yeah, currently Mother's Day, got some flowers, gonna go around to my mum's house now, and yeah, see all the grandparents, which is gonna be really nice. But yeah, it is frustrating, and the thing that annoys me about this injury and this niggle is that I was training so hard up until the challenge that I did with the deadlift. Like, I was running 50k a week, I was doing a lot of intensity, like training hasn't changed for the marathon. Like I've been like the mileage obviously started to go up, but the mileage hasn't gone up by like a silly amount. It's gone up very carefully, very methodically, not going over the 10% rule. I've still been doing my usual S&C, my usual plyos, but I've just been picking up, like I say, these niggles, the shin splints, this quad problem. But you know, I can get bogged down and really go into the nitty gritty, but it is just life, these things happen, and it's all part of the process. And this is my first ever marathon prep, and hopefully we'll take a lot of data away from this, and then hopefully we can go for Operation Sub 3 in Berlin.